It all started on 5th June 2011 when my friend dragged me into a workshop called the Mind Power Workshop by Dr. Jitendra Arya. Now, although I usually try to keep myself away from anything that sounds even remotely spiritual, I thought I should try this out. And after that 8 hours workshop talking mostly about the power of the subconscious mind, I was left wondering whether I was right in my belief that such ideas are lame, or is it indeed true that subconscious does have immense potential? Well, I still don't have an answer, and this conflict is what makes me bring to your notice this concept of the power of the subconscious mind. The term subconscious is not identical to the term unconscious. The term unconscious is most closely associated with Freud and psychoanalysis. In simple terms, Freud theorized that hidden mental concepts were making people ill. As he understood it, these mental contents had been repressed and made unconscious. Unconscious thoughts are not directly accessible to ordinary introspection, but these are supposed to be capable of being tapped by special methods. Subconscious thoughts, on the other hand, are directly accessible to introspection. Although Freud condemned the term subconscious in 1915, the term has become prominent in the New Age and self-help literature.
It's been said that one thought is as powerful as the whole universe. One thought can create an illness or a disease, and one thought can erase it. The power of the human mind has no limits. Today I'm not really going to do magic, but I'm going to just kind of bring to awareness the magic inside all of us, the magic of our own subconscious mind.
Now the problem here is that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real or what is imagined. This means that if you imagine positive events happening in your life, your subconscious mind has the power to manifest those thoughts into reality. The moment you understand that there is something that is not making us happy, we can change it. We are really in charge of how we feel.
I took the visualization process from the Apollo program and instituted it during the 1980s and 90s into the Olympic program. And it was called Visual Motor Rehearsal. When you visualize, then you materialize. And the interesting thing about the mind is we took Olympic athletes and then hooked them up to sophisticated biofeedback equipment and had them run their event only in their mind. Incredibly, the same muscles fired in the same sequence when they were running the race in their mind as when they were running it on the track. How could this be? Because the mind can't distinguish whether you're really doing it or whether it's just a practice. I think if you've been there in the mind, you'll go there in the body.
One of the theories that all the books, workshops and articles on the power of the subconscious mind focus upon is the law of attraction, which states that like attracts like, that positive and negative thinking bring about positive and negative physical results respectively. Now, of course, this requires practice before we can actually start seeing the results, and one of the methods to bring it into practice is known as autosuggestion. This basically centers around regular repetition of a particular expression at the beginning and end of the day, that is in the subconscious state. What this suggests is that any idea exclusively occupying the mind turns into reality. Of course, only to the extent that the idea is within the realms of possibility. It could be writing down the same thought every day, for example, I am thin or I am healthy, or it could be repeatedly exposing yourself to your goal through pictures.
Writing an auto-suggestion since a lot of days. The auto-suggestion is I am happy, cheerful and smiling always, and that has made me a lot more positive towards everything that's around me, towards people, towards myself and towards my work as well. And people have been complimenting me back.
So did you ever apply this law of attraction in your life and saw that it was actually working?
reply, okay, this thing can work positively as well as negatively, right? So there was a thing that I thought was not good, but I kept on thinking of it. There was a little accident whenever I used to drive. I don't know, there was this thing whenever I used to cross a specific area close to my place. Once I saw a really bad accident that happened at that place, okay? I wasn't a part of that accident, but every time I crossed that place, I was like, this is a bad place, you know, there's gonna be an accident including me and I'll be hurt or something like that. Every time I used to cross that place, this thing came into my mind, and I never knew I was actually attracting that thing to actually happen to me.
Autosuggestion is not restricted to achieving the material things that we want. Autogenic training is an autosuggestion-based relaxation technique which has been proven effective in clinical trials. For example, if a person firmly believes that his or her asthma is disappearing, then this may actually happen as far as the body is actually able to physically overcome or control the illness.
Happier thoughts lead to essentially a happier biochemistry, a happier, healthier body. Negative thoughts, stress, have been shown to seriously degrade the body and the functioning of the brain, because it's our thoughts and emotions that are continuously reassembling, reorganizing, recreating our body.
Remove physiological stress from the body, and the body does what it was designed to do. It heals itself.
Well, my story begins on March 10, 1981. It really changed my whole life. It was a day I'll never forget. I crashed an airplane. I ended up in the hospital completely paralyzed. My spinal cord was crushed. I broke the first and second cervical vertebrae. My swallowing reflex was destroyed. I couldn't eat or drink. My diaphragm was destroyed. I couldn't breathe. All I could do was blink my eyes. The doctors, of course, said all my life I'd be a vegetable. All I'd do is blink my eyes the rest of my life. That's the picture they saw of me, but it didn't matter what they thought. The main thing was what I thought. So I'll be a normal person again, walking out of that hospital. The only thing I had to work with in the hospital was my mind. As long as you have your mind, you can put things back together again. I went to a respirator and they said I'd never breathe on my own again because my diaphragm was destroyed. But this little voice kept saying to me, breathe deep, breathe deep. Finally, I was weaned from it. They were at a loss for an explanation. I could not afford to allow anything to come in my mind that would distract me from my goal and from my vision. Well, I set a goal to walk out of the hospital on Christmas. That was my goal. Eight months later, I walked out of the hospital on my own 2 feet. They said it couldn't be done. That's a day I will never forget. I wanted to sum up my life and sum up for people what they can do in life. I would sum it up this way in 6 words. Man becomes what he thinks about.
Recent studies suggest that there appears to be a clear connection between the mind and the physical world. Studies on quantum physics have shown that the actual position of matter changes until a person gazes at it, but temporarily takes a fixed position in the human eye, but actually continues to exist simultaneously in other locations. This is known as the law of superposition, and it suggests that there is no such thing as universal or objective reality. In fact, our observation of reality changes reality. An experiment involved the use of random event generators, also known as REGs. These are small and simple computers that produce random sequences of ones and zeros. After being told to focus upon either producing more ones or zeros, the participants were clearly able to influence the outcome and manipulate the mathematical probability of generating the result they intended to achieve. In a follow-up study, the participants were told to once again bring about more ones or zeros on REGs located on the opposite side of the planet. The results were equally consistent. Researchers like Dr. Masaru Emoto showed that thought energy can impact the physical properties of matter such as water. Early experiments showed that water purity directly impacted its frozen form. Further tests involved introducing the water to extraneous variables such as music, prayer, concentrated thought, and a written word. To avoid inconsistencies, Emoto used the most neutral form of water, distilled water. People focusing their attention on specific water samples noticed that negative thoughts caused the water to freeze in shattered-like formations, whereas positive thoughts consistently created complex snowflake patterns. Emoto says that since many people refuse to believe what they cannot see, his extensive research photographs will give people some physical evidence that there may be more intriguing forces at work in the universe than many of us know about, and that we may use these forces by embracing positive thoughts and exhibiting high levels of emotions.
If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
Apart from autosuggestion, another theory that became widely popular was subliminal message, in which visual stimuli were quickly flashed before an individual may process them, or flashed and then masked, thereby interrupting the process. However, this process became controversial when marketing practitioners claimed its potential use in persuasion. The near consensus among research psychologists today is that subliminal messages do not produce a powerful enduring effect on behavior, and that laboratory research reveals little effect beyond a subtle fleeting effect on thinking. My aim here was not to change anybody's belief. My aim was just to describe something that I've been trying to understand ever since I came in touch with the people who have tried it. The power of the subconscious mind. In essence, perception is not reality. Instead, it becomes so when we believe only what we know and disregard other possibilities.
Just decide, and then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's water. It wants to move and go around stuff. You know, there's a flow of the universe that I've grown to know just how to go with it.
You want to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. It's okay to notice what you don't want because that gives you contrast to say, well, this is what I do want. But the fact is that the more you talk about what you don't want, or talk about how bad it is, read about all of that all the time, and then say, oh, how terrible it is, well, you're creating more of that.
Faith can be absolutely phenomenal, and it should be.